Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this: £130 million Brazil forward deal makes sense as Yan Diomande moves away from Liverpool. Liverpool are out of the race to sign Yan Diomande. Multiple reports over the weekend confirmed the 19-year-old's intentions to move to Paris Saint-Germain this summer if RB Leipzig decide to do business. The Reds have invested a lot of time and effort in the Diomande deal, cultivating relationships around the player and making an initial €100 million offer for his services. That bid was knocked back by Leipzig, and now it appears that a move to the French capital is inevitable, either this summer or else in 2027. Liverpool need to consider alternatives to Diomande. 1v1 quality out wide is a stated Liverpool transfer priority this year, and it was clear that Côte d'Ivoire international Diomande was the number one choice. Now the Anfield club are going to have to go back and consult their list of alternative targets to the Bundesliga breakout sensation. One name that could come back in the frame is Rayan. Before he signed for Bournemouth back in winter, the 19-year-old Brazilian was linked with a move to Anfield. The former Vasco da Gama forward ended up leaving his boyhood club for the south coast of England in a deal worth around £26 million. That looks like a bargain now, with Rayan scoring 5 goals and providing 2 assists in only 15 Premier League outings. Iraola gets the best out of Rayan. His head coach with the Cherries was a certain Andoni Iraola, who brought the best out of the powerful left-footed attacker in his rookie season at the club. And the iPaper reported that Iraola's appointment at Liverpool was likely to provide an opportunity to test Bournemouth's resolve over Rayan. However, one caveat added to that initial report was that Rayan was likely to stay at the Vitality Stadium through this summer transfer window at least. Under contract until 2031, Bournemouth are under no pressure to sell, and Rayan's £130 million release clause won't kick in until January. £130 million Rayan clause not yet active. Andoni Iraola's appointment as Liverpool boss has opened the door for the Reds to make a move for Bournemouth's Brazil international Rayan, but not until January at the earliest, the report read. With Liverpool looking to shake up their attacking options in the wake of Mo Salah's departure, he was already on the club's radar before the decision to appoint Iraola. That is likely to be firmed up now he is in charge. The Brazil forward is happy to stay at Bournemouth this summer. He has a release clause that activates in January, but it is a whopping £130 million before it lowers in value in each subsequent transfer window. There's an expectation that he will stay, the report concludes. There is clearly money to spend for Richard Hughes in wide areas given the prominence of the links to Diomande. And in Rayan, the club have a chance to bring in a successor to Mo Salah, with goal-scoring and chance-creating abilities in abundance. Maybe the club will decide to bring forward a bid worth a record £130 million during this window and beat the rush for January once that clause kicks in. Next news. 12 players who could leave Liverpool FC this summer transfer window. Liverpool have already seen 3 key figures leave the club, and 12 could follow before the summer transfer window closes in September. It is shaping up as another significant summer of change for the club, with Mo Salah, Andy Robertson and Ibrahima Konate joining Arne Slot through the exit door. Victor Munoz has joined Jeremy Jacquet as the latest new signing, with several more expected to follow as Liverpool rebuild under Andoni Iraola. While the focus will primarily be on who can be added to the squad, there is also expected to be plenty of business on the outgoing front this summer. Who could leave Liverpool this summer? Curtis Jones. With a contract expiring in 2027 and no positive talks taking place, an exit could materialise if Liverpool receive a bid close to their £35 million valuation. Inter Milan are currently at the front of the line, but will have to considerably improve their opening offer. Harvey Elliott will be given a chance to impress Iraola after a season spent on the sidelines at Aston Villa, but the sense around the club is that the door remains firmly open to any suitable incoming offers. Wataru Endo. After playing just 455 minutes last season, the midfielder will be eager to find a club prepared to give him regular minutes at this stage of his career. His experience would remain valuable if he stayed, but all signs point to a summer exit. Federico Chiesa. Another player who is desperate to play regularly and is unlikely to find that at Anfield, though crunch talks will take place with Iraola first. A return to Italy is widely anticipated. Joe Gomez. Following Ibrahima Konate's high-profile exit, a move away has become increasingly unlikely given the current lack of alternative centre-back options. He is entering the final year of his deal, meaning a surprisingly high offer could still turn the hierarchy's head. Alexis McAllister. Contracted until 2028, there is no compelling financial need to sell, but the lack of active talk suggests the club are open to testing the market. He has struggled physically at times, but remains a player Iraola can heavily rely on. Cody Gakpo. A move is not necessarily imminent, but the fact that he carries a price tag upwards of £60 million suggests the club are willing to sell for the right deal. He would require immediate replacing, as Liverpool are already short on dynamic attacking options. Stefan Bajcetic has been heavily besieged by a long-term hamstring injury, and with his contract expiring in 2027, this summer could present the last realistic opportunity to recoup a fee. However, his homegrown status could ultimately see him stay put. Kostas Tsimikas. With Robertson departing and Milos Kerkez the only standing senior left-back, this is an exit that would only be sanctioned if a direct replacement is lined up first. He is another player out of contract next summer. Calvin Ramsey was brutally cast aside during Arne Slot's tenure. While he will hope Iraola hands him a clean slate during pre-season, a permanent move to resurrect his career could be the best solution for all parties. Kaidi Gordon. A bright young career that was unfortunately thwarted by ill-timed injuries. He is now expected to make a permanent exit, having aged out of the academy, with a move to the Championship likely. Lucas Stevenson. The versatile midfielder impressed heavily on loan at Dundee United last season. League One side Bolton Wanderers are currently considered the front-runners for his signature in a permanent deal worth around £700,000. Next news, Yan Diomande agreement changes everything for Liverpool. Liverpool have been forced to alter their transfer plan for this summer, following confirmation that top target Yan Diomande wants to join Paris Saint-Germain. The Ivory Coast international had been earmarked as Liverpool's dream candidate to replace Mohamed Salah as their new right winger, but he has now agreed to complete a move to PSG, who are locked in negotiations over a transfer fee with RB Leipzig. Diamande's current employers have no intention of sanctioning a sale unless a bid worth well in excess of €100 million is received, and while this could complicate PSG's pursuit of the 19-year-old, the move to Liverpool is still believed to be extremely unlikely. Diomande scored 13 goals and provided 10 assists in 36 games last season, and it's understood that a key reason behind his decision to join PSG is because his father supports the French giants. PSG are yet to finalise an agreement with Leipzig, but the deal is set to intensify once Diomande returns from the World Cup with Ivory Coast, and it's expected that he will join the Parc des Princes outfit before the summer transfer window closes on September 1st. In the process, his move to PSG has completely changed Liverpool's transfer plans. Liverpool to sign Bradley Barcola. With Diomande now expected to join PSG, it could cause a domino effect that helps Liverpool complete the signing of Bradley Barcola. The France international was behind Ousmane Dembele, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia and Desire Doué in the pecking order at the Parc des Princes last season, and with Diomande set to arrive too, he could depart. Barcola is naturally a left winger. However, he does have extensive experience of playing on the right, and Liverpool have been tipped to pursue a summer deal after learning that Diomande wants to join PSG. The 23-year-old has been on Liverpool's radar for several months, and while the Reds were widely expected to sign Diomande, they could be set to pivot their strategy and engage in formal talks with PSG soon. Barcola notched 20 goal contributions in 49 appearances last season, and with proven experience at the highest level, having won back-to-back Champions League titles, he would be an excellent signing for Liverpool. Furthermore, he may actually cost slightly less than Diomande, which would allow Liverpool to use a high proportion of their budget on a new central midfielder as they look to bolster the options at Andoni Iraola's disposal. However, their failure to sign the Ivorian will still come as a hammer blow, especially as Liverpool had been planning their summer business around securing his signature. Next news, Rafael van der Vaart responds to Jurgen Klopp comments after stinging Virgil van Dijk jibe. Rafael van der Vaart insists he has no problem with Jurgen Klopp after the former Liverpool manager was critical of the Netherlands legend over comments made over Virgil van Dijk. Van der Vaart, who earned over 100 caps for Oranje, likened Reds captain Van Dijk unflatteringly to a Boeing 747 during their 2-2 draw with Japan at the World Cup earlier this month. That critique brought out a stinging riposte from Klopp in his role for German station Magenta TV, saying, "If he ever says something positive about a player, I'm willing to take him seriously again." Van der Vaart says he would have loved to have played under Klopp and says he has no issue with the former Reds boss leaping to the defence of the player he made captain at Anfield 3 years ago. Jurgen Klopp is a great coach and a great person. I respect him a lot, Van der Vaart told Wet Basis Ace Odds. He is a manager I would have loved to play under. All the players go through fire for him, and I like his passion for the game. I will always listen to him, and he has done so much for football. In terms of what he said about me, I don't care at all. I am not the type of person who gets mad or anything. I was critical of a specific moment of Van Dijk, and of course Klopp was his coach. It is completely normal that he defends him, so I respect that. Van Dijk will lead the Dutch out when they meet Morocco at the World Cup at 2 a.m. UK time in the last 32 knockout tie. Van der Vaart added, "I think I am being misunderstood sometimes. As a person, I speak very much from my feelings and my heart. You know, I get sent questions. I don't even read it. I talk to the person. I am not deaf. I understand the questions and will say what I see, not what I have to say. I did that as a player, and I do that now as well. I don't say anything to make headlines. I actually prefer not to. But I watch the games, and sometimes you like the player, you like what you see, and sometimes you don't. Not their personality, but their abilities as a player. I am so positive about so many players, but when I see something I don't like or they are playing a bad game, I should be allowed to say it. I have to say what I see. You know, sometimes my colleagues in the media industry think they don't want to criticize too much because they can see the player the day after, but that's how it is. I am also seeing players the day after I said they played a bad game, but when I see him, everything is normal. He knew he played a bad game. I was exactly like that when I played as well. When some of the big names like Johan Cruyff or whatever were criticizing me when I played a bad game, I was still talking normally to them. It is a part of the job, and a part of my job is to see how I see the game. It is what it is. Next news. Andoni Iraola can hijack Everton deal and ruin their season. Andoni Iraola has a lot of work to do at Liverpool before the 2026-27 season kicks off. The Spaniard left his role as Bournemouth boss after having a fair few impressive campaigns as their manager. In fact, during his final season in charge, he actually managed to jeer them into Europe for the first time in their history. Despite this success, the 44-year-old chose to seek pastures new, and even though Liverpool are a much bigger club, they also seem to have a lot more problems than the Cherries, whether it's injuries, a lack of depth, or just competing with their title rivals. Iraola has a lot more on his plate now than ever before. Signing new players for Liverpool will obviously be one of his main priorities, and for one of the key positions in his team, he could actually end up ruining Everton's season if he chooses to make a move for one player. Liverpool should hijack Everton's move for Jarrod Bowen. Now, Yan Diomande isn't coming to Anfield. One thing that has been made abundantly clear this summer is that Yan Diomande was Liverpool's #1 target to replace Mohamed Salah. The Ivorian has been constantly linked with a Liverpool switch, with almost every news outlet reporting that it was basically a done deal. Indeed, the fact that the Reds' first bid, worth around £85 million, was rejected should have been a bit of a warning sign, but nobody could have expected that Diomande would be the one to end talks with the Anfield outfit. He's now ended up choosing to join Paris Saint-Germain over Liverpool, despite his agents making it seem like the Reds were his first choice. Of course, this snub means Liverpool will need to turn their attention elsewhere for a new right winger, and one name who Iraola and Richard Hughes could target is Jarrod Bowen. The attacker has just been relegated with West Ham United, which means that he could be available for a semi-reasonable fee. Liverpool have obviously been linked with the attacker in the past, but recently Everton are the team who have emerged as favourites. David Moyes is in dire need of a goal scorer, and if they signed Bowen, that's exactly what they'd be getting. But if Liverpool throw their hat into the ring and make a move alongside their arch-rivals, it's hard to see why Bowen wouldn't choose Anfield over the Hill Dickinson. Why Liverpool signing Jarrod Bowen would ruin Everton's season. Bowen was mainly linked with a Liverpool move when Jurgen Klopp was in charge. The rumours never really caught on while Arne Slot was at the helm, but now that the Hammers have Benny relegated, a deal could certainly be on. As mentioned, Everton need a goal scorer, and without that they could do even worse than they did this term. Bowen is the perfect profile of player for them, as he's already Premier League proven, and the fact that he's contributed to 23 goals across all competitions last season further proves that. Since Salah is leaving L4, Bowen would probably fit right into Iraola's plans and share the position with someone such as Victor Munoz or Jeremy Frimpong. There are a lot of variables in football, so anything could happen, but if Liverpool prize Bowen away from Everton, their season could be completely totaled, especially if they can't find anyone as good as the 29-year-old. So if this does happen, at least something good would come out of the Diomande deal falling through. Next news. Done deals. Every official completed transfer around Europe today. The 2026 summer transfer window is officially open for clubs in the Premier League and Serie A, and several blockbuster deals have already been announced ahead of next season. The summer window isn't yet open for clubs in La Liga, the Bundesliga or League One, but teams in those divisions have already formally completed a number of high-profile transfers ahead of July 1st. For example, Barcelona have completed the signing of Newcastle United winger Anthony Gordon for a whopping €80 million, while El Clásico rivals Real Madrid have also been extremely active. Los Blancos have paid €55 million for Chelsea left-back Marc Cucurella, and they have also signed Manchester City midfielder Bernardo Silva and Liverpool centre-back Ibrahima Konate on free transfers. An agreement has been reached for them to sign Inter Milan full-back Denzel Dumfries too, and they are also working on a possible deal for Chelsea midfielder Enzo Fernandez, as Jose Mourinho looks to build a stellar squad ahead of next season. In the Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur have been the busiest club so far, signing Brighton and Hove Albion's Jan-Paul van Hecke for €60 million, in addition to completing Bosman deals for Andrew Robertson, Marcos Senesi and Martin Dubravka. Roberto De Zerbi's side also want to bring Sandro Tonali and Mateus Fernandes to the club in a bid to return to European football. Meanwhile, Liverpool have replaced the aforementioned Konate with Stade Rennais' Jeremy Jacquet, having agreed a €63.6 million transfer over the winter, and Chelsea have signed Giovanni Quenda, Denner, Dastan Satpaev and Emmanuel Emega. They are also expected to add Marco Palestra and Valentin Barco from Atalanta and Strasbourg, respectively. Leeds United are close to announcing the arrival of Fulham star Harry Wilson on a Bosman deal, and Manchester City are set to sign Nottingham Forest midfielder Elliot Anderson for a club record fee. Jan Diomande is set to snub Liverpool in favour of joining PSG.